What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome, I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show is Instinct or Choice. How much of your life is based on instinct or reaction instead of choice? Let us play with the tools of access consciousness and see if we can have choice where we decided we do not. I'm a medical doctor. For you guys who don't know me, I became Access Consciousness Facilitator about 10 years ago, and I've been Akashic Record teacher and consultant for about 25 years, as well as family physician. I was born in Russia and came to America when I was a kid, so I went through all the training, college, medical school, residency, had my practice, ended up with open heart surgery because of that instinct of fear. Because I was in a constant stress. And this is a flight and fight response, fight or flight response. And I was searching after that, and we'll talk about the instinct and how to deal with that in a second. I just want to invite you to look at my website, Creating Abundance with Ease, where it lists all the services, and I do teach and facilitate classes around the world in Access Consciousness and Akashic Records. Been doing it for years, and I also do private sessions. I just invite people to different possibility with their lives, money, and health. So instinct. Animals have instinct. We have feelings, right? Or emotions. Well, this is all reactions. Let me tell you, all my life I was in that instinctual mode of reaction. Somebody hurt me, I was in pain, so I would react. I would be stressed, always in projection, expectation mode that something is going to happen. But is it truly something is going to happen, or do we create and choose our lives? That's going to be our conversation for the next hour, or a little bit less now, because we already started. So what is instinct in animals? Something threatens them and they run away or fight. And that's adrenaline system. Being a physician, I can tell you all about how the hormones getting released, how the brain works, how your adrenals work, all of that. But does it matter in a situation when you are in a stress? No, because all you know is that you're either afraid for your job, you're afraid for your child, you're afraid for something to happen, you're afraid that you don't have enough money, you're afraid that your loved one is not loving you and will leave you at any moment. And these different types of stresses that create that response. It can be the stress that acute, which is you jumping off with a parachute from the plane. That's excitement. But that's the same response. You're bungee jumping. Same response. It's adrenaline response. You're excited. Your heart is racing. Or you're climbing the mountains and you have that rush of fear, excitement. They all feel the same. It's all adrenaline that's being released by your adrenals. But that stress is wonderful to our system. It gives a boost of energy, the excitement, any joyful feeling still gives the same response. And yet a lot of times, if it continues, if we continuously climbing that mountain of stress, that um, relationship that we are in that continues to be stressful. What if he is cheating? What if she's going to leave me? What if, all those what ifs creates a response in the brain, just like you're jumping off the plane, but without the parachute. I'm going to say that again. It's literally those stresses in our lives, it's like jumping without the parachute. And we have no idea, or even with parachute, but we don't know if the parachute will open or not. So that excitement that excited us in the beginning, it a lot of times gives us that possibility of something wonderful happening. But if there is a no, like it's not stopping, it continues, the adrenaline continues to release. At a certain point, there is that depletion of adrenals, of your organ. There is no more hormone to release. So there are other hormones that getting released, like cortisol. And all of that is pretty much starting to destroy your body instead of creating it. So what if you have something else? What if you start realizing that you have a choice instead of reaction, instead of instinct? It's about looking and seeing the situation for what it is. It's about choosing more for you, choosing to create your life beyond the instinct. Because what is instinct? It's reacting unconsciously. It's reacting instead of acting. That's what instinct is. Instinct is when we're not aware of what is there. Instinct is when we might be doing same thing over and over again from a habit. That's also is instinct. All of it is not creating our life, it's destroying it. When we are basing our life, our choices on instinct, that's not a choice. It's a reaction. It's habit. And it's unconsciousness. Could be anti-consciousness when we're doing it against ourselves, like abuse of ourselves, or when we allow the abuse to happen. And it never happens to us. It's always a choice. And we talked in previous podcasts, and you can watch or listen to the recordings and on pretty much most of the podcast stations or binge TV. And it allows us to realize that we do have a choice. When we don't have a choice, it's still a choice not to have a choice. Not to have a choice and doing things out of fear, which is another instinct, or implant or program, it's still a choice to choose that. It's just unconscious choice or anti-conscious choice, not a conscious choice. And I'm not talking about cognitive choice, please. There is a difference. And we'll talk a lot about cognitive choice, conscious choice, unconscious choice, anti-conscious choice. They all part of our instinctual system, reaction system, or consciousness. So what is consciousness? According to Gary Douglas, who is the founder of Access, and Dr. Dane here, who is a co-founder, consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. It's pretty much everything. All your unconsciousness and anti-consciousness, or your instinct and choices, all part of consciousness. So where would you say is anti-consciousness or unconsciousness? It's when we cut off our awareness. When we pretty much saying, putting the blinkers on like a horse. And if you're watching me, you see my hands by my eyes, by the temples, and like, no, 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 not seeing what's there. Ah, la, 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 ah, la, la, not hearing anything, or not going to say anything. All of that. Remember the three monkeys? I'm not seeing, I'm not hearing, I'm not saying anything. Those are actually monkeys of unconsciousness, not going to be aware, not hearing, not seeing, and not saying. Well, not saying might be conscious. Not hearing, I'd rather hear everything. Let's put it this way. If you know something, then you can choose. If you don't know it, are you choosing it consciously or unconsciously not knowing? Again, that's a choice. It's not a right choice. This is not a wrong choice. This is not a good choice or bad choice. It's just a choice. What if there is no good or bad? What if there is no right and wrong? What if it's just about what works for you? Not knowing, not being aware, and being in a la la land like those monkeys, that's actually a choice. That's actually a lot of people choose that because it's easier for them. It's just a lot of times it affects your body in the ways that you might not realize. I had a friend, or I have a friend, who decided that she doesn't want to hear about her husband cheating on her. She literally was saying, I don't want to hear it. In 5 years, her hearing started to decline. Right now, she lost about 80% of her hearing just so she would not hear the whatever was going on. Truth or no truth doesn't matter. It's about being aware or not aware. And if we are not aware, that's fine. But at the same time, just know that your choices create. Unconsciousness still creates more unconsciousness, and consciousness creates more. What if it's what required to be unconscious? It's not good or bad. What if it's required to be conscious? And what if you actually choose consciously what you're choosing instead of just being in that, I don't want to know, I don't want to hear, I don't want to see, I don't want to say anything. And apparently, it's time for our first break of the show. We'll talk more about instinct versus choice. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on the Inspired Choices Network. And today, our show topic is instinct or choice. And in the first part, if you missed the first part, we were talking about that a lot of times we react instead of acting, and it puts us in a stressful state of mind, body, and spirit. And you can listen about that, all the adrenaline system that gets created, all the physiology of that. Right now, I would like to talk more about choice. What is choice? Choice doesn't have a reason. Choice does not have a justification. Because a lot of times, if we justify it, if we find the reason, if we find why we did that, it's no longer a choice. Doesn't have to be instinct, but it's no longer a choice. It's just something that we might have chosen it to choose the reason and justification, and then based on that, we choose something, but it's not a true choice. True choice is just choosing. And I'd like to do an exercise, and I've done it multiple times as an illustration what choice is. It's very easy. We're going to be choosing every 10 seconds. And a lot of people struggle with emotions because a lot of emotions are instinctual, like anger, because it's a programming. It's how we react to certain stimuli. So if somebody hurts us, we react, we pull away. We go into fight or flight, as we talked in the first part. But sometimes, just like Pavlov dogs, their response, remember, like they were salivating to the food when the bell was ringing, and eventually they were salivating only on the bell. Same thing with us. A lot of times, a certain person activates anger in us. Like every time we go there, we get angry. And then somebody that looks like that person might create the same response in us. That's what instinct is. That's what response is. That's what autoresponder system is. All of that is not a choice. When we dislike somebody just because they look like somebody we might not have known this lifetime, it might have been other lifetime. Or maybe that person was from another lifetime. But again, that the instinct of survival kicks in and we run away from that person, but that person is different this lifetime. Think of the actor that plays always a villain, and then suddenly he plays a good person. Would we actually believe him that he's a good person, or we instinctually expect in that movie that he will eventually will become evil? The second one is true, right? So it's all about the perception, not so much what's true. And what if actually we live consciously through the awareness, not the judgments that we decided are true? And that's true of a choice. If we have preconceived ideas of what we're supposed to do or be, or we bought it from somebody else, because a lot of people put a projection and expectation on us, like being a good girl, being a good boy, being truthful, being this, being that. And then we play those roles. And then we fight those roles. And instead of being cognitive and conscious and really being aware, we go into instinctual reaction. So let's see what the true choice is. Let's play with emotional responses. Let's say you hate somebody or you're upset with somebody. Pick a person, pick an emotion, and we're going to do every 10 seconds. You will flip the emotion to the opposite. Let's say you're upset with them, and then the next 10 seconds, you will like them. You will be upset and you'll like them. If you hate them, then you will hate them and then you will love them or be neutral. If you're afraid of somebody, be afraid, like really be afraid of them, and then not be afraid, liking what they are. So start. Whatever emotion you felt, just really, really feel it. Oof, a lot of it. Yeah, just be upset, 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 upset. And now like them. Just see for who they are, that light, that soul, that not what they project, but what they actually are inside. And now switch again. Excuse me. And now flip again. I don't remember, I think being upset right now. And now love them. I'm just looking at my timer. And now be upset again. And now love them. How you feel about the whole situation, about them? I would guess maybe a little bit more neutral. Because all of that is the instinct, the reactions, their lives. It's what we tell ourselves. That's what we create, those things. And it's not what's true. What's true is our beings, our light, our energies. So what if we do another exercise right now, and we'll do the expansion exercise, and you can download that for free from my website, Creating Abundance with Ease. You will get on a mailing list. It's part of kind of like, I guess, a marketing campaign. You will be getting email once a month with new tools, new information, maybe new podcasts, information about classes that's going on around the world or online. And if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. Sometimes you'll get an extra 1 or 2 emails if there is like a class that I just put up that's coming up soon, or reminder about the classes. So as I said, if you don't want to, just unsubscribe. But it is on www.creating abundance with ease, and the website is listed under the podcast with information about me. So just relax right now. If you're sitting, just plant your butt firmly on a chair. If you're laying down, just relax your body. And open your crown Just allow the light of the universe to go through your body, through your feet into earth. And bring the light energy of earth through your feet, through your body, and out of your head. And just allow those energies to mix in your heart and expand that energy beyond the boundaries of your body. And just drop your barriers if you have any. Just allow that to expand more. Expand your consciousness and allow that space to go maybe 10 miles or 10 kilometers, 100 miles, 100 kilometers, more, even more. Even more. 100,000 miles, million miles. Make yourself bigger than Earth, bigger than universe. And from that space, look at your emotions, but don't contract. In order for us to feel emotions, because emotions feel in the body, for the being to feel emotions, there is no other way as to contract. We have to contract to make ourselves finite, so we function in this reality. And actually, while you're expanded, look at your life. Look at your reality or this reality. How much bigger are you than this reality? Yeah, the reality is tiny compared to you. And that's what I'm talking about. When you have the reality like this and you're expanded, like right now, doesn't it look like you're playing a little game on your console? Let's say chess, let's say a game of backgammon or whatever game you're playing. Or maybe that game that everybody, like a lot of people playing, what is it, the world war domination or something like that. Doesn't matter what game you're playing. You're choosing how to act. You're choosing how to move your avatar. What if your life is like that? What if it's just a game because this reality is so small and you're so big? What if you're actually moving your avatar, your body? And your body is inside of you, not outside. How much easier the choices are. Now, would you act from instinct, actually react from instinct, or would you choose your action? Would you choose how that avatar moves, what that avatar says, or would you be upset? Well, you probably will be upset if you lose the game. But what if it's just a game? Think about it. Okay, you lost the game and you walk away and you start a new game. What if our lives are like that? Okay, this game is forfeit. I stop playing. Or you put it on pause and you choose something different. It doesn't mean you have to die. You just choose something different. You don't even have to move to a different country or different city. Just choose. And this is time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about that. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is instinct or choice. And in the first couple of parts, like we had two parts so far. One, we were talking about instinct, part of fight and flight response, adrenal system, all of that. And then the second, we were talking about that we're much bigger than this reality. And we can choose. And we were talking about what is true choice versus choosing based on instinct or autoresponder systems. So with access consciousness, we have a lot of tools that gets us out of that unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, autoresponder system, instinct, into true choice by being aware. And by the way, awareness does not create choice. Choice creates awareness. And it's so funny. It's very simple. Right now I'm doing some remodeling in my house and we put the lights in. I was aware that I needed more light, but not until I chose it. I realized, and my daughter looked at it like, Mom, it's too bright. It's like very harsh light. So we called the electrician and he's like, oh, of course, we can change the light. We'll just lower the lumens or whatever it is. But were we aware that there was difference? Not until we chose that, we knew we didn't like it. A lot of people, or including me, we tried, and I'm using the word try to choose, but we actually trying to decide what the choice will create. Like we have to know exactly what will happen when we create, which is not a choice. It's not even instinct. It's decision, judgments, conclusions, computation, all of that, not a choice. Choice is just a choice. Do you choose to put the foot in front of the other, like each foot? No. You just put your foot in front of the other. Directions, you might decide which direction you choose, but the choice of how to get there might be still a choice. So there is a lot of ways we're choosing and a lot of ways we're not. A lot of ways we just choose based on, okay, what will that create? Doesn't mean we just choose to jump off the cliff without kind of like thinking or without taking into account that we might not have a parachute when we're jumping off the cliff, or there might not be water underneath but the stones and we might not survive. The idea is when we're choosing is also to know what that will create. And that's a conscious choice. Not necessarily knowing exactly what it will create, just the energy. And I love the tool, and that's a tool of the week. And you can use it anytime. We have a lot of tools today. And we have a difference between a decision and a choice. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. What do you know about that? Decision is like, even the word decisions is solid. It's like we're deciding based on our mind, not what it will create, but deciding I have to do that. Choice is very light. Decision is a judgment. Choice is based more on what will it create. And you can look at the difference. Like I will go, okay, the decision is usually looking for the right choice, the right decision. Kind of like computing, going through a lot of decision making stuff. And eventually you decide, and then you actually can choose. Decision sometimes precedes the choice, but sometimes if choice is based on a decision, it's not a true choice. It's just like something you decided and you go for it. Versus choice is which lighter. It's just looking at the energy. What my life will be if I choose that. And you look at the energy. And what my life will be if I don't choose that. And you look at the energy. And there was one moment when my daughter was asking me, it's like we were both taking a class with Access Consciousness with Gary Douglas, very advanced class, amazing class. And somehow in the afternoon of that class, the last day, my daughter kind of like was trying to decide between going to a party versus staying and listening to the class or watching the class because it was online. And so going to the party and then listening to it afterwards. Decision was like, oh, the right decision would have been to stay with the class because the class is what gives you the future, what clears you. There is a lot of decision making in there. And when we look at the energy, what your life will be if you go to the party or if you stay for the class, much more expanding was going to the party. And it was interesting. It's like, wow, cool. So she chose that. Choice creates awareness. Awareness does not create choice. Turns out to be there was a girl that she kind of like supported and needed her input, and it created more for both of them. And then she listened to the class, which created even more. So it's about what can I add to my life? What can expand in my life? What will create joy, what will create more. And choices, not necessarily productive choices. We were talking recently on one of the Zooms, and the question was how to create a bigger class. And kind of like the awareness came in to sleep more, to take time of a couple of hours to sleep. And guess what happened? The person chose to take that advice and slept. And it actually created more. Because a lot of times we think that it has to be doing. Action, not necessarily doing. Action might be resting. Action might be slowed down. Action and choice might be taking a walk in the nature instead of doing on your computer marketing or putting more Facebook ads. Not necessarily. I remember years ago, I was doing a class in Rome, in Italy. I live in Chicago. And I had a girl who was organizing it. She was like exhausted and she's like, Helen, I cannot do any more marketing. Maybe we'll cancel the class. And I'm like, you know what? And I was getting that the class was asking to be created. And I'm like, what if you choose based on a choice, not a decision that you make, what will create that class? It's just like, but I would walk in the park. I'm like, go walk in the park. I'll take a vacation for 2 weeks. Take a vacation for 2 weeks and don't do anything as far as class concerned. And let's see what that creates. At that time, it created one of the biggest classes so far at that time. Now I have bigger classes, but at that time, even that internet wasn't working. At that time, internet crashed around the world because Amazon, I think it was Amazon or something was out. Even translator couldn't get online. So Julia was translating instead of translator. It was like a mess, but we had, I think, over 100 people registered for the class. I think we had like 90 live. So it has nothing to do with what we decided will create more. It's actually choice creates more, not the instinct. And sometimes people misidentify instinct as our intuition. Intuition has nothing to do with instinct. Instinct is based on response. It's somebody activates it and you instinctually go for it. It can be intuitive, but rarely so. It's more that automatic responder system that maybe from other lifetimes, maybe from the animal kingdom. Like I said, hormonal system goes into overdrive from fear, from excitement, from whatever it is. And a lot of times we misidentify that. Sometimes we misidentify excitement and fear and excitement. Sometimes we'll look at somebody and that person might have killed us in a previous lifetime, or maybe scared us as a child. And yet we'll look at him or her and I love them. My heart is beating so fast. I'm so excited to being with them. And then you might marry them and it's a battlefield because you promised to kill each other 200, 500, 10,000 years ago. Doesn't matter. Idea is to get out of the instinct and choose. There is no right and wrong choice, just a choice. What if every choice you made in your life is not a wrong choice, just a choice that brought you here in this moment that made you strong? Huh. And this is the moment to break for our last third break of the show. When we return, we'll talk a little bit more what's to come. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network. We will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is instinct or choice. We already had 3 parts where we were talking about instinct, kind of like physiological response of fear, anger, all of that based on adrenal system or sympathetic system. And then continuous stress. We also talked about choice. What is true choice? There is no right and wrong choice. And we also talked about what if we're just playing in this reality and choosing. Next week, by the way, the show is every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 Eastern. It's 7 p.m. in Russia. And look at the time in the world, depending on where you are. It's pretty much different topics on creating abundance with ease. Next week, we'll be talking in Russian because I do shows in 2 languages, English and Russian. Next week will be similar topic, slightly different. And by the way, even if you don't understand, let's say you don't understand English, but understand Russian, or don't understand Russian, understand English, it doesn't matter which language you speak. The energy, first language is energy. So you can join us even if you don't get Russian. And the topic is реакция или выбор, meaning reaction or choice. Basically similar to what we're talking today, slightly different angle. And as we talked last week about point of view, just the point of view. Just if you move a little bit, your point of view will be different. If you move a little bit more, it will be different. It's just a choice. You can choose your point of view. You can choose how to look at things. You might not choose other people's choices. They choose their own. But how you react to them, if you react to them, is your choice. And we talked about no choice universe, which is still a choice. And our show is coming to kind of like slowly winding down. Just want to remind you, to look for classes, sessions on my website, creatingabundancewithease.com. Also, you can contact me throughout Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I think VK, you can also send me text messages, WhatsApp, Telegram. There is a Telegram chat specifically for Russian speaking. It's Helen Gitlevich in Ukraine, in Russia. You can search for me, as I said, on Viber. You can text me on Viber, pretty much most of the platform, and you can send the email through the website. So there is many ways of contacting me. A few classes will be coming up. There is going to be a foundation in June or July. There is going to be Akashic Records coming up at the end of May, which is 2 different technology. Access Consciousness Foundation is 4-day class. There might be a few body process classes that's coming up. They are not on the website yet, but they will be within the next week. Just keep checking, or as I said, contact me. We have only 3 minutes left in the show. Just want to remind you, be mindful. It's all about being present in our lives, with our bodies, always asking questions, always being the question, expanding, looking at things from different perspective. It's about choosing us. Again, and we talked last week, it's not about choosing us against them. It's not about choosing them over us. It's about choosing the kingdom of we. What works for everyone. What works for me will work for you, and what works for you will work for me. And it's about being an allowance of other people's choices, being grateful for them to be present in our lives. We might not necessarily like their choices, but we don't have to live by them. We can choose our own life, we can choose our own choices, and we don't have to suffer. Mantra of Access is all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. You also can catch me with Rachel Silber, another facilitator of Access Consciousness, on Facebook in a group, Being You Without Hiding. We are doing clearings for change every single day, different times of the day, depending on our schedule, depending what works. And I think it's day 85 or 86 today. And we skipped 1 or 2 days so far. So just join me anywhere. I do lots of Facebook Lives, I do Instagram Lives, different languages. And by the way, clearings are going in 4 languages: English, Spanish, Russian, and Hebrew. So love to see you, love to meet you in person. Meanwhile, at the end of, it's not the end, just the end of this show. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. You can either listen to it or watch me on Zoom. Also, after the show is over, you can always catch the recordings. You can go to archive. It has over 100 shows so far. And just enjoy your life, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the rain, and love you all till I see you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.